Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? This is Lewis and Joel. Quixote has a family emergency, so it's just going to be two of the three-man booth. We got a lot to talk about on this very, very promising and exciting edition of On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. What up, Streaming Joe?
Yo. We're about 45 days away from WrestleMania. It's getting hot. A lot of stuff to talk about, man. Things heated up this past weekend at Elimination Chamber. And yeah, we haven't recorded a pod in like 2 weeks, so we got a lot to talk about. Lots to talk about.
Yes, indeed. So, let's dive right into it.
Let's do it.
So the elephant in the room, huh? Our childhood hero has turned heel. Listen,
Ah.
folks, Joel and I are of the same generation. So John Cena, I can speak for both of us. John Cena is not our hero.
No.
the last the last time that I was into John Cena as a fan, like I was really into him, yep, Word Life Doctor of Thugonomics. So we're talking like '03, or '04. And then I was digging him when he first won the title during that initial main event run in '05, and then gradually, yeah, I was just growing sick of him. So I'll always respect John Cena, but it's not like he's one of my personal favorites. So that's it. The the heel turn that we've always asked
It's
for
crazy, man.
for 20 something years
Crazy.
finally happened. Let's get into this segment, man. Joel, I'm gonna open it. Let's start with you. What did you think of this segment between Cody Rhodes, the final boss, John Cena, and Travis Scott?
Yo, man, this was an incredible segment. I actually had the pleasure of watching Elimination Chamber with friends because I was visiting New York City. So I caught up with a bunch of friends and we watched it. And when it happened, first of all, we got Cody saying no to The Rock, where he drops the F bomb. They don't bleep it at all on Peacock. Straight up F bomb. Go F yourself,
That
Rock.
was nuts.
That was crazy. That alone made me like, oh, like, pop from my seat. And then we get the John Cena hug, the Rock behind his Cody's back doing the weird cutthroat slash, whatever he's doing, putting fingers up, all this. And Cena gets awakened like a sleeper agent, man. His face completely changes. He turns into Frankenstein Cena, it looks like, and he just goes ham. He kicks them. He grabs the Rolex, perfect, and just starts beating the crap out of him. This is one of the best heel turns that WWE has produced in a
Yeah.
very long time. I think this is up there, honestly, like with Stone Cold joining McMahon, and I know Hogan being the third man, that was WCW, but I think this is just up there with all of those heel turns. This is one of the best heel turns I've ever seen, if not the best heel turn I've ever seen. Because of what it represents. This is John Cena, hustle,
Yeah.
loyalty, respect.
Yeah.
This guy wasn't turning heel for as long as we all wanted it to happen. All the older fans, let's go Cena, Cena sucks. Like,
Yeah.
how many pay-per-view main event matches did we endure where half the crowd was just ready for something new from John Cena, and he would not give it to us. He would make fun of it. He would do the little foot heel turn in the ring. Like, we thought this would never ever happen. And for it to happen on his retirement tour, I am
Yo.
so ready to see where this is going. I love this. Triple H, you're cooking. Whoever else is cooking, you guys are cooking. WrestleMania is on fire right now. I don't care what happens from here to now. I'm excited and I'm letting them cook. Just cook, bro. Keep cooking.
Yo, seriously, and that was well said. Going into Elimination Chamber, I was excited for The Rock's appearance because of the whole Cody thing and I
Yeah.
Want Your Soul. And everyone was so curious to see how it would play out. Like, is The Rock going to come out and leave us hanging again, and just say a bunch of nothing and run around in verbal circles? That was the big question. Let me backtrack. Before that segment even occurred, John Cena winning the Elimination Chamber was a surprise. That was a
Yeah.
big surprise, because I had even said it on the podcast for weeks that CM Punk was the guy to win the Elimination Chamber
Same.
because it didn't make sense for anybody else to do it. I'm
Same.
like, Cena's a possibility, but I think the money is with Cody and CM Punk.
Yeah.
So naturally, like, that's everybody's prediction. But when John Cena, as soon as Seth Rollins hit that curb stop, I was like, this is happening, isn't it?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden I'm like, okay, this is perfect. Now it makes even more sense. We're going to get heel Cody. We're going to get Homelander Cody, just like we all wanted. But then, boy, did they really flipped the script. And shout out to Dwayne, man, because once again, Dwayne has proven the Cody crybabies and all the schmarks. He has proven all you fucks wrong, that you got to trust the process. And he said it on live television. This is a ride. Know your role, shut your mouth, and enjoy the ride that the final boss is going to take you on. And he even said it at the press conference. You may not like every single thing that we do. It may not be for everybody, but just enjoy the show, trust the process, because long form storytelling has officially returned because of all of this. The fans in the 21st century, especially in the last 5 to 10 years, we've become so accustomed to quick form storytelling, microwavable angles, where we're not letting things fester for weeks on end. Now, sometimes when they fester a little too long, and I get that. But for the purpose of a big angle like this, like WrestleMania type angles, we need to let it play out, because no one, or at least a very tiny percentage of the wrestling community, called John Cena aligning himself with The Rock. I mean, whoa. And they really laid it on Cena. Like, Travis Scott allegedly even popped Cody's eardrum.
Yeah.
Because he smacked the shit out of him. I was like, whoa. His receipt is coming, by the way. I'm hoping he gets power bombed off the stage through a barbed wire table, lit on fire, like all of that. But in any case, yeah, to hit on your point, I think Cena's heel turn at Elimination Chamber 2025 is going to go down as probably the second or third most historic heel turn in pro wrestling history. We can argue that it's the biggest one since Austin at WrestleMania 17, but really, it's the biggest one since Hulk Hogan at Bash at the Beach 96. It really is that significant, because John Cena was the Hulk Hogan of the younger generation. Like, a lot of the younger fans who are in their 20s, content creating and watching now, those were the ones that were small children when Cena was in his prime. So for them, it was hilarious seeing all of those shocking reactions. Like, you got grown ass men and women just screaming at the top of their lungs, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But yeah, me personally, I was jumping up and down and screaming like, oh shit, I can't believe what the fuck just happened. It was, I haven't had a reaction like that to a wrestling angle in a long time.
Yeah.
It was so well done. So well
honestly, done. Same exact thing. I stood up out of my seat. I was like, they're finally doing it. They're finally doing it. They're turning him heel. This is crazy. Like, man. And like you said, too, he is the Hulk Hogan to that generation. And I would say it's bigger than Bash at the Beach, just because who he's turned heel against is such a big baby face. Because at the time, Bash at the Beach, it was 1996, Macho Man. Like, he wasn't really at the top of, like, his career the way Cody is right now. Cody's at the top of this whole business right now. It's Cody, Roman. Those are 1A, 1B, interchangeable. So for Cena, who is the Hulk Hogan of that generation, to turn bad at who basically is the next John Cena, Like that is a super layered, like intense storyline that they're trying to tell, and I just can't wait to see where they go with it. I hope John Cena is available because I know he has like very specific dates.
Yeah.
So before WrestleMania, so I just hope they're able to tell that story before we get there. But either way, right now they sold me on WrestleMania. Like I'm excited about this main event. I wasn't on paper excited about babyface John Cena versus babyface Cody Rhodes like a lot of
Nah.
people were predicting. So I love that they're still giving us John Cena Cody Rhodes, which is a huge match. But now we have this added element that they really didn't even have to do, and that's what's really cool about this era of WWE. It's almost like they know they have a main event already. Cody Rhodes, John Cena, that's a main event. But let's throw some extra sauce on it. Let's make John Cena heel. Like what? Like I want to be in that boardroom or whatever when they decide that writers room when they're like, yeah, we're gonna turn John Cena heel. Like what? I would not believe it. And you could tell that most people didn't even know it was gonna happen because apparently Michael Cole wasn't told. It's like it was basically just the people in the ring
Oh,
because they wanted
really?
to keep it under wraps, and that's why nothing leaked about. Like nobody really like predicted John
Oh,
Cena and
wow.
The Rock. So apparently they kept it just to the people in the ring, which is awesome. Like I love that they're trying to keep that, not leak something that this is one of the biggest angles that you're ever gonna do with arguably your biggest star ever, John Cena. Like this is crazy, man. This is unprecedented. We've never seen them take a gamble like this, and it's exciting. It just goes to show the difference between a Triple H ran WWE versus a Vince ran WWE,
Yeah.
and that's what's exciting about this. Like, yeah, we had Roman Reigns turn heel, but it wasn't in the ring. It wasn't like an angle. It was just like overtime. Paul Heyman, he showed up and we saw that he was a special counsel all of a sudden to Roman Reigns. But this is like a legit heel turn in the ring
Yeah.
against your
Yeah.
biggest baby face, Cody Rhodes. Incredible. A+ segment made the Elimination Chamber, which is already a pretty good show, not too bad of a show, pretty good in-ring wrestling. It made it like A+ to me. Like after that segment, like you could have just ran that segment alone and it would have been an A+ pay-per-view or PLE.
Yeah, and I think that when it's all said and done, people will reference Elimination Chamber 2025 for the
Yeah.
rest of time. But the PLE overall was very good,
Yeah,
like you
for sure.
mentioned. The match of the night was Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. That was a great match, phenomenal match. It was almost a throwback to their Ring of Honor days, right? When Sami Zayn was El Generico.
Yeah.
So the thing that we're glossing over too with Elimination Chamber was we got some returns, right? So
Yeah, we got
Jade
this
returns,
is a big show.
right? Randy Orton returned. Let's talk a little bit about the Jade return.
Yeah.
I kind of saw. I had mentioned this to y'all leading up to the PLE that it was a little too obvious that that Jade would come back and attack Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that they were going to throw some sort of twist in there. So we'll know what the payoff is on SmackDown, right? But I once she started attacking Naomi, I was like, I don't think it's Naomi
Yeah.
versus Jade. I think Bianca's the mastermind behind all of this.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. But what did you think about? Well, what's your prediction anyway?
Yeah.
Like, how do you see this angle unfolding?
I could see. So first of all, shout out to Jade because that was a vicious beatdown, and it
Yeah,
looked vicious. She did her job really well. She even
Yeah.
like closed the chamber door on Naomi. Like that was so cool. And Jade just looks incredible. Like she is a star. Like she
Yeah.
came out, and I was like, God damn. I forgot how big of a presence she is compared. Because when she got in the ring and she first faced off against Liv Morgan for a second as like the red herring. I was like, yo, she's like double Liv Morgan's like body stature, like her height, everything. She's just so much bigger than most of the women. So she's gonna be an incredible star if she's able to get like all the in-ring work stuff like under wraps. But man, I'm
true.
excited to see where we're headed. I do think eventually this is heading towards Jade versus Bianca. I'm guessing that it's gonna take a while though. I think we are heading towards a Jade Naomi match. I don't think it's gonna be WrestleMania. Maybe like that SmackDown before WrestleMania or something like that. But I think what we're gonna see in the future is Bianca being revealed as like the person
Yeah.
who made Naomi attack her or something like that. Because yeah, Bianca was acting way too like, oh my god, my friend, like get out of here. That was overacting. I don't
Yeah,
believe it.
yeah.
We'll see though. I'm excited about it. They made me excited about an angle that was kind of like dead in the water for a little bit. So shout out to them for sure.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, that's Elimination Chamber, man. I'm excited to see how this is gonna unfold for what the next. I guess
Yeah,
WrestleMania is like 6 weeks away, maybe
yeah. And then
4 weeks, 5 weeks.
speaking of that match, actually, Bianca Belair ended up winning, and then on Monday we see that apparently she might not be facing Rhea after all. We thought we were gonna get this big Rhea
Woo.
Bianca WrestleMania match. It seemed like that's where we're heading. The two biggest women that you have on your roster, probably your two best future stars, Bianca Belair on one side, Rhea Ripley as champion on the other side. We had it all written in stone, basically, and then
Yep.
Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky Monday Night Raw, and we get the rare title change on a Monday Night Raw when we're already on the road to WrestleMania. We don't see this a lot, so I'm very intrigued. What do you think? What do you think, Lewis, about Io Sky getting the title when we're just like 2 months away from WrestleMania?
I liked it. I liked it a lot, man. Just because it was unpredictable.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wrestling is always going to be at its finest when it's unpredictable. So Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, even NXT, we had a title change. When I'm not saying that it has to be frequent title changes, but whenever it's those unexpected title changes,
Mm-hmm.
that makes for good television. And then you got a hook for the following week because it keeps the people buzzing, and then they're gonna want to tune in. So now you have my interest that much more for next week's Raw because Io Sky winning the world title. I mean, I didn't predict that one bit. I was like, oh yeah, they're just having Rhea Ripley have a warm up match, so to speak, against EO. She'll retain, and they'll continue planting seeds for what the next few weeks are going to look like with Bianca. But no, EO actually won the title based on the distraction from Bianca. So my thinking is they're not going to go with Bianca versus Io 1-on-1 because the story isn't strong enough. So you'll probably see a triple threat match. Unless they swerve us in 2 or 3 weeks and have Rhea regain the title and then go on to face Bianca. But I think the way it's being set up, it'll probably be a triple threat match. But yeah, keep it coming, man. I love when they just do unpredictable things like that. So they need to think about how they want to do it on the SmackDown side, right? Like maybe have a surprise Intercontinental title change or US title change or what have you. So I love it. I love it, and I'm looking forward to it. And good for Io Scott, man. She's talented. She deserves it, and that's a good spot for her to be in heading into WrestleMania. But that was the end of Raw. The beginning of Raw started with a hot angle. CM Punk channeled his inner 2011 pipe bomb self when he just went off on everybody, Dwayne Johnson included. And then that led to a really good brawl between him and Seth Rollins, and that's going to lead to a nice steel cage match. And Raw's emanating from the Garden next week. So that crowd is going to be hot, electric. I'm not the biggest CM Punk fan these days. I don't really care for him, but that was an excellent promo.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, man. I loved him calling out The Rock's goosebumps. He said he was I was like, that's perfect because that is getting very annoying and his little shtick every time he comes out. So but Punk has always been good at just calling out the bullshit he sees. and that's what he did, which is perfect. This is the perfect character for what they're doing with John Cena now and Cody Rhodes in this segment. Because all right, we don't have the direct like follow up to that on this episode of Raw, but we're gonna have our best talker basically explain to everybody what's happening, why it's bullshit, and like so like it was perfect. And CM Punk, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of him either, but like I could never take away his mic skills. He is incredible on the mic. When he has some passion behind it, you could tell. And he just went out there. They gave him the mic, and they were basically like, "Yeah, go ahead, go crazy." And it felt like a freestyle battle. Like he was like, "All right, who y'all want? Who's next?" And the crowd was just like yelling names, and he was just going after them like it was like Ether or some shit. And
word.
So he was like Dwayne. He just went after Dwayne. Cena. He just went after Cena. It's like it's a perfect. And then Seth Rollins, of course, and that leads to that perfect brawl between the two, and it's building this incredible story because we had the Elimination Chamber where Seth Rollins basically caused CM Punk's chance at that WrestleMania main event. So we're going to continue the story. I'm thinking this leads to a WrestleMania match between Punk and Rollins. Maybe you add in Roman into that match or something to make it a bigger match. But I think CM Punk and Rollins in a steel cage in Madison Square Garden, that sounds like an incredible old school style match. I'm sure they're going to go balls to the wall, and we're going to see some great action between those two. And yeah, man, like this is the best use case for Punk. Like when you really think about it, like, yeah, he could have been in the main event and got in the match against Cody, but that story, besides like maybe some incredible promos, I don't know if it would have hit as well as what we're getting, which is John Cena as a heel. So this is incredible. Like, yeah, it sucks. Sorry, CM Punk, you probably won't get another main event. But at this point, I think you kind of just have to give it up. You're never getting that. Not this. I think it's a troll at this point. The company's ribbing him. It's like, yeah, you want that main event? You never get it. Every year, The Rock's just gonna come and ruin his plans. That's his fate, basically.
Yeah, and Rock's been doing that since 2012. So, yeah, Punk. Yeah, I think the writing is on the wall as far as him main eventing WrestleMania. I know his diehard fans want to see it, but maybe that was something that WWE disclosed to him up front. Like Triple H was probably like, "Look, we'll consider it, but you know we want to put our focus on you because you're one of the biggest draws in the history of our company, or at least for the last 10 15 years or whatever the case may be. But you know, I don't want you to sign the contract. I want you to sign the contract with the understanding that it's not a guarantee that we'll slide you into the WrestleMania main event. We'll give you high profile matches, but let's just see how it plays out. Because remember, when CM Punk was coming back, he was only a couple of months removed from his tenure at AEW. Yeah. So, you know, WWE had to play it smart anyway from a business standpoint. Like, let's see how it gradually plays out because this is like a test run. You know, first we need to see how the fans respond to you, and we need to see if you're pulling in the merchandise sales, and then what's your professionalism like? What's the locker room etiquette going to be like? So there's a lot of things, and I can understand why they didn't want to give him the ball. Yes, he got injured last year and he missed out on WrestleMania entirely, but you might be right. Maybe this is the best case scenario for CM Punk at this stage in his career. I mean, he doesn't even move the same in the ring anymore. So do we really want him as WWE champion, like a long-term champion? I don't know. I don't really care to see that. So I would rather him face Rollins and Roman in a triple threat match. I'm not a fan of a triple threat match with no stakes on the line, so maybe they can add something there.
Yeah, number one contender or something.
Right, like a number one contender, the Raw after WrestleMania or something like that. You know, just to add a little bit of sizzle to it. For sure. My prediction is that Roman shows up at the Garden. That's when he makes his return because Roman has got a gripe to pick with both of them, one way or another. So yeah, I think the story is there. He'll come back and insert himself in the cage match maybe after the cage match is done.
Yeah,
Who knows? But that would be a good way to reinsert Roman into the story
yeah,
heading into WrestleMania. Because now that I'm thinking about it, WrestleMania is only
yeah,
a little more than a month away at
yeah.
this point.
Like 45 days. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of around the corner.
yeah. And there's still a lot of like loose ends to tie, but
Yeah.
we know that Punk has that favor from Paul Heyman as well, so I'm sure that's going to
The
come into play.
favor.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see where Punk, Roman, Rollins, I feel like Drew, like they're all up in the air right now as to who they're gonna be facing, where they're gonna land on that WrestleMania card. And we've said it before, but that embarrassment of riches that all wrestling companies at this point have. Like, there's
Yeah.
just so much good talent that some of your bigger stars are gonna have to either be thrown into multi-man matches or they're just gonna be left off the card altogether. So we'll see where they all land come WrestleMania. But I'm excited for the road, man. The road is exciting. We got John Cena as a freaking heel, bro.
I
It's
know,
crazy.
and then you got the final boss in the background. That's
Yeah.
what makes it even more intriguing
It's funny
because
too because we had mentioned it a couple episodes back about how the road to WrestleMania was feeling a little like lackluster, and we all mentioned that it was because The Rock was like looming over. Like, is he gonna be here this time around? Is he not? And he kind of came and he showed us all, yeah, I'm gonna be a big part of this WrestleMania, which is interesting because I wonder if this is what it's gonna be going forward. Like, we just won't see Rock for months at a time, but every WrestleMania season he's just gonna show up and heat shit up. Because if you think about it, that's kind of the best use case for him. We don't need him all year round,
no.
but when your biggest show is coming up, he did it last year. He started the Cody Crybaby movement. Now this year he's coming and he's giving us Cena as a heel. Quietly, everybody hates The Rock right now, but quietly he's giving us the best shit that he has produced in years.
People hate The Rock because he's doing his job. So The Rock is doing a very, very effective job of coming across like a dick.
Yeah,
Like,
he's the
and I'm the
asshole
biggest Rock
CEO
fan,
basically.
but like he is starting to come across like as like legitimately unlikable.
Yeah,
But that's great. That's great for business because when you have a final boss character who's a board member
yeah,
on the board of directors, like you're not supposed to like somebody like that. Like The Rock is an egomaniac. Like he's
mm-hmm.
always feeling himself, and he's one of those people, those larger than life celebrities that just loves to hear himself speak, and he's earned that right. You know what I mean? Because he has the charisma. He's built the adoration of the fans. He's one of the all time greats, and he's someone who's transcended. Uh, he's transcended the concept of a mega superstar in wrestling transitioning into Hollywood and pop culture. Period.
Yeah,
Like he paved the way for John Cena and Batista. You know, and you can make the argument that Hulk Hogan paved the way before him, but Hulk
yeah,
Hogan never reached the pop. He never reached the Hollywood heights
yeah,
that The Rock did. You know what I'm saying? So, with all that said, this is the best use of The Rock, and he mentioned something to that degree. I think it was a recent press conference. It was right after the SmackDown where he said that he wanted Cody's soul.
yeah,
So he was like, I left it cryptic on purpose, and all of this doesn't. The payoff doesn't have to be a match.
yeah,
And everybody was taken aback by it, like, oh, but wouldn't that be the point? But Rock is going to be 53 years old. So if it's going to be a match between him and Cody, it's gotta be it's got first of all, it has to make sense, right? He can't just come back randomly and all of a sudden I challenge you. They gotta like really, really start rebuilding into that. And if all we get is one Rock match, a formulaic match every
mm-hmm.
year, like around this time, then that's okay because he's essentially the new version of Mr. McMahon.
yeah.
Mr. McMahon is not going to be wrestling every week or every pay per
That's
view, but every now and then he'll get like a no holds barred match against Shawn Michaels or Hulk Hogan or father versus son match against Shane McMahon. And all those matches turned out to be very memorable. So if that's what we're going to get from Dwayne, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it is crazy. He's basically playing like proxy Mystic McMahon. Because they can't use Vince, so they're like, we'll use The Rock. That's basically what it is. But it's interesting though. I do want to like hear, what do you think are the motivations behind John Cena's heel turn, right? Because I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, it makes sense. He wants to be the 17th. He wants to win the 17th world title, get the record. But he already had the Elimination Chamber won. So I'm like, all right, what would cause him to turn his back on the fans here? So what do you think they're going to go with that?
You mean in terms of kayfabe, or are we talking real life?
Kayfabe.
So in kayfabe, that's a very curious question.
Yeah.
Because I don't even have an answer for it. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden, like you turn your back on the children that you that you've granted make-a-wishes for. Like, wait, what? Like The Rock was your arch nemesis. You guys main evented WrestleMania. I mean, that's water under the bridge, but still, you main evented 2 consecutive WrestleManias. That the animosity and professional jealousy is well documented. Like, I would love to hear the kayfabe. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the kayfabe reasoning? Like, he wants to go out with a bang, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, this is your retirement tour. Maybe he's gonna come out and give a promo where it's like, I'm at the tail end of my career. I am obsessed with becoming the winningest world champion of all time. And why not sell my soul? Like, I've done everything for you damn kids. I've done everything for this company. So I'm gonna do things on my terms now. And Dwayne is the guy who I'm making movies with. I'm getting the paychecks with. He's coming back to the Fast and Furious franchise. Like, this is what's best for business.
Yeah. Start blending reality and shit. Be like, all of a sudden, John Cena's in all of the Rock's movies and like some small roles here and there. That'd be great. Right. But it's dope because, like, let's say they were able to use Vince, right, for this story, and Vince is the person that Cena is selling his soul to. That would be incredible because it makes a lot of sense when it comes to like, he's always done what's best for business. So if Vince is asking him to do something, he's going to do it. Like, that would be an incredible story. So, but I think since they can't really do that story, they're doing it with The Rock. But it would be cool if they did something where, like, well, The Rock has had success in Hollywood. And, I haven't really gotten my foot in the door as much as I want to. And he promised all these things to Cody. I'm going to take that myself, Like, but then, so I've seen a lot of people out there fantasy booking or thinking that there might be a third man that joins this group.
I saw that too. And that's a really interesting red herring.
The reason supposedly is a Bad Blood. The Rock comes out, does the throat slash, does the 3 fingers, and then we don't know what the hell it means, right? Then people retroactively realized, like, oh, he was doing the John Cena thing,
right?
So I'm like, okay, so now he does the throat slash at Elimination Chamber, but he puts up a 2 after. So it's like, all right, we got the 3 down. Now we're down to 2. Is there another 1 after that, right?
So
if there's another person, who makes the most sense? Who would it be?
Well, shit, man. Roman? I mean, but the thing about Roman is that would be a little too convenient.
Yeah.
I
mean, the last.
I don't know. I think that's overkill.
Yeah.
I think that's like
that's
also
the superpowers of heels. Like,
I'm like Cody would not be able to win. Like in kayfabe, that's crazy, bro. Like the fucking mega powers. Rock Cena.
Yeah, you might as well bring Hogan with his beer, real American beer.
Yo, you might as well bring Hogan,
Cold.
Austin.
Nah,
Like,
but
and make it a 6-man tag. Like, that's crazy.
it would be Roman would be interesting. It kind of would make sense because the last time we saw The Rock and Roman interact was on Netflix Raw, and they just kind of shook hands. That's it, Ula Fala.
True.
Nothing after that. So it would be interesting. And also, like, if I'm Roman, why isn't The Rock like interacting with me at all in all of this? Why does he only want like Cody's soul and Cena's soul? Like Roman should be upset here. Like, yo, my cousin don't want me. Like,
Right?
I've been holding it down for 4 years.
Oh my god. But you see, these are the types of things that add intrigue and keep fans talking. You know,
Yeah, for
everybody's they're gonna give their predictions, they're gonna speculate, but yeah, this is great. You know, it got everybody talking again because let me tell you, 2 weeks ago, I was not that hype for this WrestleMania, but now
Yeah.
it's like if I had the means, I would just fly out there. You know what I mean? Like I would literally
Yeah.
just fly out there for WrestleMania on Sunday.
Yeah. Seeing Cena work heel is gonna be so interesting after the 20 years. Like, is he gonna have a colorful T-shirt still? Like, what is his gear gonna be? What is his music gonna be?
They gonna have to go back to the Doctor Thugger now. They're gonna have to switch up the entire presentation.
And then
he can't be coming out with the Fruity Pebbles shirts.
Yeah, exactly. And then you gotta worry about people cheering him if you make him too cool of a heel.
Yeah,
Like, this is interesting. I want to see how they balance everything. I want to see when Cena shows up again on TV, and we'll see where it goes from there, man. But I'm excited.
For sure, man. So final topic before we wrap up. Some quick thoughts. AEW Revolution, the pay-per-view is happening this weekend. It has an amazing card. Yeah. That is one of the best cards that AEW has ever put on paper for a pay-per-view. It's just a shame that AEW is being incredibly overshadowed by WWE right now because it's the road to WrestleMania. You know, like that's every, or at least most wrestling fans' priority viewing right now.
I mean,
you know,
I would argue that we're more of an AEW heavy show, and we're about 40 minutes in, and this is the first time we brought them up, and they have a pay-per-view this weekend.
That's true. That's a valid point, my friend. But what are one or two matches that you're looking forward to the most? I can personally say that I think the main event should be. So I'm definitely looking forward to Ricochet and Swerve. I love what Ricochet has done with his character. He's like a major sociopath now. I love it. MJF versus Hangman is going to be good, of course.
That's going to be great, yeah.
Kenny Omega against Takeshita is they're gonna tear the house down.
I can't wait for that match.
You know what I'm thinking about? I'm looking forward to like pretty much every match.
But I think Osprey Mariah and Fletcher too.
Yeah. Oh god, Kyle Fletcher is like the next Randy Orton.
Yeah.
I mean, I just see it. You know, he's the sky's the limit for that kid. I think Mariah May and Toni Storm should main event, in my opinion. I think that angle has been terrific. Toni Storm has been the best women's wrestler talent-wise for the past 2 years, bar none, in my opinion. And I just think that they should close out the show. They're gonna go all out. This is the Hollywood ending. It's in LA. Just make it the main event at this point.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think that should main event too. They're calling it the Hollywood ending, like you said. It's falls count anywhere, no DQ. Just let the woman go out there and kill it, because that's what they're gonna do anyway. And they've been crushing it, man. Like this is one of the best women's storylines in any company in the past like 2 years. Like
I think it's the best.
Yeah,
I think it's the best, bro.
Like going from when Mariah May first showed up, wanting to be her student, all of this, all the way to where we are now. The promos that they're having are like some of the most like intense personal promos that you could tell that they work together on all this shit backstage, and they're just like in tune with their characters and what they're trying to portray. It's like legit hatred, but admiration at the same time because she looked up to Toni. Like all of this is really, really fucking good. It is a perfect name for it, the Hollywood ending, because it has been like a movie, a cinema, as the fans like to say.
Yeah.
But I think out of all the matches, the one I'm most excited for on Revolution is Takeshita versus Kenny Omega. I think it's going to be a banger. Kenny Omega has something to prove because he hasn't really shown all out. I feel like how he should be on AEW TV. He had a really good match in New Japan earlier this year with Gabe Kidd, but we haven't seen that Kenny Omega in AEW.
Yeah,
he has a perfect opponent, Takeshita. I think they're gonna put on a banger, and I'm hoping Kenny Omega walks away with some singles gold because I just feel like the company is in a better place when Kenny Omega is in a prominent position. So hell yeah, I'm hoping that goes well. And then the main event, Adam Copeland, Jon Moxley. If they end up main eventing, I mean the story's been okay. I'm not excited about Adam Copeland being a world champion, and I'm not excited about Jon Moxley still being the world champion. So it's like whoever wins this match, I'm still gonna be like, meh. I'm sure there's gonna be some type of angle after, and maybe it'll be worth it. But right now, I'm just like, I'm just ready. I'm ready for someone to challenge Jon Moxley that seems like they are actual viable threat, and I feel like we haven't gotten that this whole run. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's a strong point. I love Cope.
It's working.
I know, right? I love Edge, Adam Copeland, Cope, whatever. As much as I love him, I don't think he needs the world title. So it's not something that would overly excite me. It would shock me if they gave the title to him, just because I think Moxley deserves to lose it to someone like a Swerve. Where the crowd would pop more, but it should be a good match. It should be a fun match because you're gonna get a whole bunch of shenanigans. So we'll see how Revolution turns out. But shout out to AEW. They've been putting in work. They've established a really good card, and unfortunately, Dynasty is about a month away. That's their next pay per view after this one, and it's like 2 weeks before WrestleMania, but
oh man,
the timing is terrible, bro.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's a rough time right now. Like you said though, they have been crushing it, and I do want to shout them out for the smaller venues they've been running because they look great on TV. Tonight's episode of Dynamite was like in a theater type venue, and it looked really dope. The setup looked dope. A very intimate style of wrestling. I feel like that encourages people to want to go see it live, which is a smart move. Like, because when you look at a WWE crowd and they span it out, you look like you're a small ant. Like, like you might not even be able to see anything from your seats. But when you see an AEW crowd, it looks nice, jam packed, small. It makes you want to be like, oh, this looks pretty dope. I would go to that on like a Wednesday night if they were in my town type thing. So I think it's working for them, and they're gonna.
And it helps with the acoustics.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And they're having a big show in LA, Revolution. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how big the crowd is and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, sucks that they've been overshadowed a little bit with John Cena, The Rock, and all this stuff. But AEW still like the little engine that could. So I believe in them.
and things will kind of bounce back a bit after WrestleMania when they start promoting Double or Nothing and
All In.
Because after Double or Nothing, they're gonna be full steam ahead with All In. And I'm excited for that because I'll be in attendance. I'm driving up for that, so
that'd be dope.
Yeah. But this concludes this episode of On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. We're very appreciative to all of our followers on TikTok and Instagram. And just keep supporting us, man. And we're looking forward to collaborating with other content and podcast folks on social media. So, we're a big wrestling community, so why not? We're opening up the invitation. We're open to collaboration. We love engaging with other people and, just talking about the form that we love the most, which is pro wrestling. So, on that note, everybody be safe, and until next time, peace out.
You have just listened to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, a Scriptly adapted production. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at On the Mark Wrestling. And email us on onthemarkpodcast@gmail.com.